am here in a hotel room in Kansas City, Missouri, and I have a small haul. So when I'm here for work, and I don't normally get to source on work trips. I think I've only actually sourced on 3, and I didn't plan for it. So even though I was on Southwest and I could bring an extra suitcase and an extra carry-on, I didn't because I really wasn't thinking that I was going to source. I went to the bins 2 days before I left, so it's not like I really needed anything. There were 2 bins locations within 7 miles of the hotel, which I know is very, very tempting. But I don't have a car, so then, anyway, I got here and I looked on my map and it turned out that they were closer than that. The Goodwill was 4.3 miles away, and then there was another one that was not a Goodwill, and it was a little over 5 miles. Now, if I was going to go to one, I kind of wanted to try the other one because, just to try something different, non-Goodwill. But the Goodwill opened at 9, and the other one didn't open until 10, plus I walked there. So the extra mile, I walk. When I'm here, I get on the treadmill, I walk 3 miles every morning. Anyway, so it's like, okay, a little over a mile more, no big deal. But then you're talking 2 miles, and I have limited time getting there at 10. I have to work. This was a few hours before getting to work in the morning. So Goodwill seemed the most practical, and I just decided it's really miserable here, and I'm just going to go. So I'm not going to really give a review because I don't think it's fair to review a place based on one visit of just under an hour and a half. But I will say it made me appreciate my bins. For one thing, my bins are cheaper. So the shoes, if you had under 20 pounds, were $2.29 a pound. And I think they go to $1.99 a pound if you have over 20 pounds. And I got 12.45 pounds. And I thought, maybe I should go back. But I had to fit it in my luggage, and the savings of 30 cents a pound, not really worth trying to figure that out. Plus, I had to get a ride share to bring me back. And anyway, the clothes were $1.89 a pound, which is the same as our bins. So our bins are $1.89 a pound, and it's not higher for shoes. In fact, I think it should be lower for shoes because they're heavier. It's not like it costs them more to get the shoes. So I don't think that's fair. I think shoes, especially really heavy shoes, should be cheaper than clothes, if anything. The only thing is ours don't. So for their clothes at 30 pounds, you get a discount to, I think, $1.49 a pound. So that's a good thing. And if we had that at our bins, I would hit that every time. But I wasn't going to hit it here because I didn't have room on my suitcase. Plus, in the time I was there, they didn't do any rotations. So I had actually run out of things to look at, and I was just like, okay, I'm hungry. I need to get back. I want to eat something before I have to work, and I need to squeeze this into my suitcase. So let's start with the clothes. There were a lot of things that I kind of thought about getting, and then I ended up putting back because of the limitations in space in my suitcase. I did pick up 2 Aldi's market bags, so I can use one of them as a carry-on if I can't fit everything in my suitcase, which I probably can't because of the shoes and boots. So this is Innis Crafts 100% merino wool. The only hesitation on this was that it does have a spot. I've already tried to clean it with soap and water, and it didn't work. I was hoping that would be all it takes, but I'll have to try something when I get home. I'll probably try Fell's naphtha first, and then I can you never know because I don't know what the stain is. I'll try my usual mix and see what happens, but I really liked it. 100% merino wool, zip up with a hood, size medium. Yeah, medium. Okay. Okay, this is actually not clothes. Next item. This is a brand that I've actually kind of been wanting to find. I've seen it a few times on auctions, but it's too expensive. It's in good condition, and it isn't. The leather is in great condition, but there's marks and stuff. So I'm debating keeping it or possibly getting some leather dye for it. It is Portland leather. they make nice stuff and, you know, not cheap. And it's just a tote bag, but it's like handbag sized tote bag. It's not a big tote bag. This is the issues. Like, I would still use it that way. There's some darkening there. That I don't mind so much. It's this. I don't know if it's some... I don't know. So I'll see what I'm going to do with this. I don't mind keeping it. And it's a brand that I've been wanting to find. I have something else that is a brand I've never found. Okay, this is... The brand is All That Jazz. It's vintage. Made in USA, size 5'6". Floral cap sleeves. The sleeves are see-through. And I believe that it is a maxi. So I liked that. And at the point, this was the last thing I picked up. And at that point I had put back a lot of clothes because of the space. And, you know, it not being any cheaper than what I get at home, I was like, eh. I had taken some things because I didn't want to leave empty-handed. That was for sure. So ultimately, this is what I ended up with. Nothing amazing. This is Pendleton. Now I have a Pendleton wool skirt suit that's just sitting there. This is just the skirt, but I still couldn't resist it. It's a size 10, which is probably like a 4 now. Purple wool straight skirt, fully lined. Appeared to be in perfect condition. I did not see any moth holes. Fingers crossed that they don't suddenly show up when I get home and stick it under the ring light. Okay, this, I've never tried this brand. I'm always interested in picking something up that's a brand that I've heard of. I've never tried. So the brand is Good American. It's size 4, and it is a pretty substantial blazer. Double-breasted? Is it double-breasted? Yeah, double-breasted. Light shoulder pads in there. Kind of a neutral tobacco, maybe. The fabric feels good. Has all the buttons. Check for that. Actually, did I check for this one? Yes. Oh. Anyway, so I wanted to try that. Just to add a new brand to my closet. So that's everything that isn't for the feet. Now for the feet. Let's see what I got for the feet. There were a lot of singles. There was a pair of men's Ariat boots that I had in my cart for a while, but didn't really even realize what the price was for the shoes, and they might have been £8, but I decided to put them back because I can find Ariats often enough, and you know, space. These are Chacos. Some kid is screaming next door. This place. I'm not going to publicly say what it is, but if you're coming to Kansas City and you want a review of a place, you just message me. Anyway, cute Chacos. The size is women's. I believe they're women's. Women's 6? Yeah, women's 6. That's what I would say. That's what they look like. They're nice. They need a good soaking. That's all. But they appear to be in pretty good shape. The first thing I found when I came in, so when I got there early because Maps apparently thinks Maps is geared to slow walkers. I got there like a half hour early. And when I got there were a couple people in line, and just like our bins, by the time the doors open, there were like 3 or 4 people ahead of me, but by the time the doors open, there were 15. Whatever. And they ran, and someone was yelling, shoes, shoes. They had a lot of shoe bins, though. I didn't even count. There was, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minimum. Might have been more like 10. A lot of shoe bins. But they didn't rotate. So when they got there, everybody ran to the shoe bins, and I'm starting to pick, and someone's yelling, don't shop yet, don't shop yet. I'm like, we can't shop yet? She goes, not you, it's just them. They're, you know, these shoe people. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know what the deal is. They open the doors 2 minutes late, and then they don't let you to shop right away until they say, okay, shop. And then I think they did take out a few rows of stuff, or maybe there wasn't anything there when we got there because it happened immediately. And they're like, you know, no going in row 7, 8, or 9. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. And then I had my cart and someone's like, no carts. I'm like, really? I didn't see the sign. And some people had carts and some people didn't. Like, there was enough room for it. Whatever. Anyway, these are Birks. I don't know what size they are because, you know how they get on the inside. But otherwise, they're in pretty decent condition. Not amazing, but they'll sell, hopefully. I think I recently sold this style, so hopefully. There were actually quite a few Uggs, single Uggs. And I think even a couple of doubles, not sure. But I ended up only taking these because I thought they were a little bit special. They were size 8. They have some crud on them, but I managed to scrape off just with my finger one section of it, which means I think I can scrape it all off. I have like a wire brush, or I'll find something. I'm considering getting, like, there's an Ugg boot cleaning thing you can get on Amazon, but I think it's like $25. But I'm still considering getting it because I do find Uggs a lot, and if they make a difference, it might be worth my while to have them. Okay, got some men's cowboy boots. I've never got, is that a snip toe? Yeah, it's a snip toe. Oops, sorry, shaking the table this is on. And they're in quite good condition, handmade in Mexico, size 9.5, assuming men's. But I will know when I try them on, because if they're slightly big on me, they're probably women's, and if they're really big on me, then they're a men's. I've never tried to sell Stetson boots. The comps can be good, mediocre to good, and to even better than good. But given the condition and everything, I chose to take these. Now this boot, I had the single of this boot, and then I put all my singles back because I was like, I can't take all, even if I find all of them, I'm not gonna buy them all. And then I kept finding, in fact, I found more shoes that were not, I thought they were bad at our bins with putting things in the wrong one. Like, I don't understand. I mean, if you're on your way out and you just want to throw something in, but people will stand like at a hard goods bin and going through their cart and throwing clothes in there and shoes, like, just bring it to the proper bin. Come on. There was even more of that there. So I had found this boot. This is an Ariat women's boot. Pretty fancy schmancy, huh? Size 8B. There's a stud, I think, missing right there. I don't think that matters. What an odd place for studs. Quite frankly, you're asking for trouble when you put them there. So I had thrown it back, and then I was way over at the other room and I think looking at a hard goods bin, and I found the other one. So I grabbed it and then ran back and somebody had the other one in her hand, and then she set it down and I grabbed it. So yes, I do have both of them. I thought these were pretty nice and not super duper heavy. Ultimately, I paid like 28 and change for 5 pair of shoes, which is not great. That's over $5 a pair. But obviously the boots would account for more than the Chacos. So I'm not going to put them as like $5.25 a pair. I would put maybe like this for 6 or 7 and then the Chacos for 4, something like that. That's the way I do it. And then there were a lot of Sorel singles. And these were not one of them, but I found these in the same hard good bin where I found that single Ariat. And I'm not doing great at Sorels, but these are really cute. And there were lots of Sorels I didn't end up getting, so I got these. Look, they're in very good condition. There was a pair of men's Sorels, but they were the old-fashioned, almost duck boot looking one. And I have old Sorels, vintage Sorels. They're not doing well, and those weighed a ton. Between those and the other Ariat men's that I left, that probably would have brought me up to 20 pounds. But there was a duffel bag at one point in my cart because I was thinking, well, I can check a duffel bag and put it in there. But I ended up leaving it because most of this will fit in my suitcase, and otherwise I can just put it in an Aldi's bag and carry it on. Because I don't have a carry-on, just my backpack. So this is a size 6.5, which doesn't thrill me, but they're in great condition. And why are so many of their boots called Joan of Arctic when they don't look alike? I don't understand that. These have a hidden wedge, not my favorite style. I don't like, well, if I had to have a wedge, I certainly prefer a hidden one, but why do I want a wedge? Anyway, I guess for people that want to look taller, I don't know. I wouldn't wear it. I'm not into that. Okay, so that's all I got. So not a huge amount, but I couldn't really, I didn't have room to have a huge amount. So it worked out nicely. I got my exercise. I took the ride share back. I used my company card. And fingers crossed that stain comes out on that sweater, on that Innis Crafts sweater. Other than that, I think everything's in pretty good shape. So thank you. And I don't know if this is coming out before. I have 2 videos prepared from my bins trip that I took 2 days before I left. I'm not sure what order I'm going to release things, whether I'm going to release this one first. I think I might release this one first and then those. So anyway, stay tuned. Lots of hauling coming your way. Bye.